Well, hello, everyone. I'm honored and excited to be here talking with Mike Robinson. He's the Executive Director, CEO of Business Ethics Alliance. Mike, thank you for joining me today.
Oh, thanks for having me, Andy.
I know you stepped into this role. How long has it been?
Going on 2 years,
Going
actually,
on.
November of 2020 when I came on.
Okay. Yeah, you stepped in right in the middle of a whole bunch of craziness with the pandemic and whatnot. So we're going to talk a little bit about that professional journey, but let's just talk about Business Ethics Alliance. I know many people know what it is, but just in a nutshell, give us an overview.
Well, the Business Ethics Alliance is the only city-level ethics initiative in the nation that was actually formed by our founding partners, Creighton University, the Better Business Bureau, and Hunter College of Business. I'm sorry, Creighton University, Better Business Bureau, and Greater Omaha Chamber, as well as our founding founder, Dr. Beverly Crocker, who, with her vision and foresight, is actually one of the main reasons why why we're here today.
Yeah, and I mean, I've interviewed Bev many times, and what she has done just in creating the Business Ethics Alliance and everything that your organization does, and it's so important to our community. But the organization has evolved over time, because when was it founded? I mean, what year did it start?
Well, meetings started back in 2005, and as you're aware, the Alliance was actually formed in a spinoff from the Enron scandal. And so with the Enron scandal, Dr. Crocker had the foresight to establish more an ethics-based organization. But we actually were formed as a 501c3 in 2008.
Okay. And we're going to talk a little bit about the event that's coming up, Ethics Space, coming up in October. But first, let's just talk about your professional journey. I mean, what made this a right fit for you?
Great question, and Andy. It's primarily lived experiences. Personally, and I share with many individuals that I would not get involved in the organization if I didn't couldn't live out the mission. And so a lot of the business I've had, time to housing, leadership development, a youth engagement, has been primarily near and dear to my heart. And ethics, obviously, living with integrity and not only doing what's right, but also practicing what you preach has been always, front of mind. I have a mother that was in law enforcement and a wife that I view as Mother Teresa. I keep that, front of mind every day. So it challenges me to be a better individual. But in particular with the Alliance, it was very unique. And I'll say with this transition, because granted, you want to pretty much every day walk that path and to encourage your team, but also your partners in not only doing the right thing, but also helping evolve cultures. And that's something that really interested me in the Alliance. Granted, with our robust history from corporate involvement to working with nonprofits and small businesses, but it's like there's more that we can be as an organization. And granted, we've had a great start, a great run, and my job is actually taking that baton and improving some of those processes. But as I mentioned, like these connections that we currently have with our community partners that keep ethics front of mind, and not just by saying it, but living out their values, has been truly beneficial for the Alliance to see that in fruition.
So, I mean, again, I knew you, before you joined a couple years ago, joined the organization. But there is such the vision that Bev created and the organization. I mean, there's so much more, my understanding in our conversations, kind of more expansion and just taking things to the next level, which needs to happen in all organizations. But talking about yours, there's so many ways for the community to get involved with what you do. And let's talk a little bit just about the events you have. I mean, you have monthly events.
Correct. And I know it's one thing, it's been, front of mind with a lot of individuals as far as the Alliance events. And, but the thing is, we're beyond that also. And
yes.
Pertaining to like our consulting, workshops, we've explored, areas where currently we're doing executive ethics exchanges to where they're just CEO centered, and you're having those conversations amongst your peers We've also, kicked off the first of its kind nonprofit ethics exchange, which was a partnership with the Whites Family Foundation. And that was for nonprofit leaders, from not only just CEOs, but also you're connecting with HR members, the finance staff. So pretty much getting deeper into organizations to spread, as far as ethics education. So the perception or that the Alliance was event-based, yes, that's more of a taste of more of that ethics 101 approach to provide more
Absolutely.
diverse perspective and diversity of thought in those rooms. And granted, the networking has been very beneficial to share ideas. But granted, with like any organization, you have to grow and grow gradually. But also, as we call ourselves the Business Ethics Alliance, it's going to take that alliance to make this
Yeah.
work. We've been very blessed to have partners that we do in this community.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about, I'm actually looking at your website too, which you recently launched a new website, and lots of great resources there as well. But let's talk a little bit about, I do want to talk about Ethics Space, the event that's coming up in October. And we're going to be doing something so much more in Midland's Business Journal on that as we get closer to the event. But it's an exciting time. You have a great speaker. Let's talk about the speaker for a minute.
Well, very excited about this Ethics Space. It's actually our I guess second run at this.
Yeah.
We had Kenyon Salo, who was pretty much more of a focus to transition from the pandemic and to have a different outlook on ethics. So now we're going back to our basics and the foundation of how we were formed as an organization. As I referenced earlier, the Alliance was formed from a spinoff of the Enron scandal, and lo and behold, Sharon Watkins was the whistleblower. So that's she went over as our keynote speaker, which we're highly looking forward to on October 13th, and actually taking it back to home and to our roots as an organization. And granted, the Omaha community, it's we've been blessed to serve this community, but also it's a thing that we can actually give back in a way, and also open eyes, insights of individuals that are on that borderline or cusp of whistleblower situations that they can empathize or connect with, from her story.
Yeah. And so the event, and again, last year was it 100% virtual last year?
It was hybrid.
Okay, so you had a little bit of both. The year before,
prior 2020 was virtual, completely virtual.
Okay. Yeah,
in person.
Yeah. So how can people? Because this is not. I mean, it's not just a luncheon. This is an event that you spend, and there's so many different things going on throughout the day with the keynote, but then other kind of sessions. Can you talk a little bit about just kind of as a whole?
So what we're doing this year, we actually have our keynote, which Sharon Watkins, but also we're having 2 breakout focuses, and getting those obviously finally secure here. One of those in particular is Dr. Aaron Bass from University of Nebraska Omaha, who will be presenting, but all within that realm as far as that psychological safety piece and having that that piece to where your voice is heard within the organization. So it's a complete tie-in to the conference. And one of the other areas that we did from other conferences is actually the dialogue. We're going to have a 30-minute session after Sharon's speech, that she pretty much more of a Q&A session with the audience. And we'll be a little past events, but it's another way to connect on that level. And actually, so I encourage those who are attending, and I hope you're listening, will take us up on an offer to support the Alliance in that aspect. But come and get your questions prepared in advance, because it definitely is going to be a dynamic setting.
Yeah. So let's talk. So we've got the event coming up, and is it October? It's October
13th at the HI Center.
Okay, that's great. And I know tickets are on sale now. And also, are you sponsorships are also you're looking for business corporate sponsors as well? I know we'll have another conversation about this event, which again, encourage everybody. I mean, this to me is just like, you don't want to miss this event at all. But going back just to the organization itself, kind of what is next? I mean, what are you looking at? Where do you see it going?
Well, great. The thing is, like, when we talk about the transition and change, it's like my approach was not coming into Alliance like a bull in a china shop and making it my brand. As I referenced earlier, it's going to take all of us, with this
Yep.
movement, so to speak. And one of the is actually I had taken a step back to see, the program that was provided, to our community. And granted, we all are coming out of, pandemic, and that pretty much changed our structure of programming. So we had to be, very nimble in our efforts as far as, providing, quality programs to the community and pretty much lending that ear to understand the needs. So some of the areas that we've been focusing on primarily have been around the, culture,
Mhm.
capacity, I guess, in that storytelling approach to where you can connect with individuals on their level, whether CEO, middle management team members. So more of a, that back to that diversity of thought. But when you look at as far as our programming overall, a lot of that focus, some of it has been primarily on the retention, engagement.
Mhm.
I had a discussion with an individual earlier, and I referenced the fact, and I'll ask you this, Andy, is that when you're, as the time when you apply for a position, has there been any ethics related questions during that interview process?
Mhm.
Another factor as far as how are we vetting, individuals that are, coming to organizations and seeing if the values align with the organization,
Yeah.
opposed to the position. Because I think you had to look at the end game with, our employees now, and making it more of a place of, rather than employment, but a place of home, that feeling, because you're with your, team members mostly 8 hours a day, probably even more. But how connected are you? I mean, how engaged are you? That's been some of the focuses. Other areas, with the Alliance Beyond, the like the workshops, as I referenced earlier, the executive ethics changes, and we've connected more using technology, and that's been some of our focuses moving into 2023 is web-based programming,
Yeah.
that ethics 24/7, because ethics is nonstop. You don't take a break from it, and it's an area to
Right.
where we have to keep that front of mind. And as an ethics-based organization, it's our duty to and definitely enjoy it, to provide those practical tips and tools to the community and community leaders.
Well, last question for you. Until our next interview, which we'll be having one probably in a couple months or less. But how can people get involved? I mean, there's different levels of involvement, but how can a business or individual get more involved with what you do?
Well, first I'll start with our signature events, and one of the directions we have taken this year is offering those free of charge. Our next event actually we kick off is August 25th, and that's ethics and data collection. We have Mike McMeekin from Engineering Lab, and then Hobson Powell from LinkedIn, which we're very excited about that conversation. But that's one area, and as far as educate yourself. But the other is actually looking through ambassadorship. It's spreading the word, inviting your peers, and also becoming a prospective trustee partner. Currently, we have over 339 trustee partners in the community, and these are the organizations that are technically our trustee partners, but those reps are the CEOs, and from different scales. So our trustees are ambassadors, supporters, and advisors of the Alliance. So it goes beyond that financial support. It's the knowledge, it's the their experience that they're bringing to the table, and those stories that shares amongst peers, like-minded individuals. That's
Yeah.
very.
Yeah. Well, Mike, thank you so much. First of all, again, thank you for what you and this organization does for the community. I don't think I can say how important it is. And it, like you said, 24/7, ethics is 24/7. And it's important conversations that, honestly, there was a time when we weren't even having these conversations. So looking forward to, again, ethics space. You've got a lot of events coming up. Midlands Business Journal, excited to be more involved with the organization, and encourage everyone to check out the website and look how you can get involved. So I look forward to talking to you again real soon. And any last brief words before I let you go?
Well, one thing I guess I'll leave you with and leave the audience with is that ethics doesn't cost a thing, but it can cost you everything.
Wow, that's good. That's a good one. So, all right, Mike, thanks so much. Good to see you. And I look forward to chatting with you again soon.
Thank you, Andy.
And folks, we'll be right back. Well, my friends, I am here with one of my favorite people, talking about a favorite event coming up. Lee Legenhausen, he is the founder of Pets in Omaha, and we're talking about Pick a Pooch, which is coming up at the end of July. I can't believe it's already July. Lee, thanks for joining me. And how are you?
I'm great. I'm great. We're just, ramping up for the event.
Yep,
So-
and it's a couple weeks out. So it's tell us the dates before we dive into
30th
it.
and 31st.
30th and
July.
31st of July. So, all right,
10 to 4 both days.
what?
10 to 4 both days.
10 to 4 both days. So, well, let's first talk about, like I said, you're the founder of Pets in Omaha. Let's just talk a little bit about that. Give us some background.
We're an online magazine for the Omaha area and beyond. And we just try to help the animals as much as we can. We have lots of articles, over 2,000 articles that we've written.
Mhm.
And we're coming up on our 10th year, coming up in October.
Oh my
already.
goodness. Wow.
It seems like 3 years ago, and it's going to be 10 years. And just good information for any pet lover. We try to help the rescues and the shelters as much as we can on our website and at our Pick a Pooch adoption days. We've easily helped at least 1,500
Yeah.
dogs, cats, whatever, get their forever homes through Pick a Pooch and our online magazine.
Well, what was the inspiration for Pets in Omaha?
Kirby, my Kirby. You remember Kirby?
I remember Kirby, but for those who don't know Kirby, just tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, it's just probably about the same time I got on Facebook. I started seeing people and loving, hugging and loving on their dogs and stuff and cats. And I thought, well, I guess there's a lot of us out there. And one day, I can't remember if it was on the radio or TV or something, but I saw something that I thought, well, Kirby would like this. And I Googled around and Yahooed around and tried to find a hub of everything in Omaha pertaining to pets. And there really wasn't anything like that. And I thought, well, maybe I should do that. But then again, I don't know how to do a website. I don't know how to do all this other stuff. So
Right.
it was about 2 years before this came to fruition back in 2012. So yeah,
Wow.
it was just something that I thought needed, and apparently it's working pretty good.
Well,
if I
and
can
I
say
just,
so.
yeah, well, and I just want to say congratulations because it is working and it is needed. And, interviewing you, I'm looking at your website over here. There's so much information about so many different things, from inspiring stories to, what you need to know about registration, and everything in between. So, but
If I
Yes.
could,
yeah,
one of our biggest stories had something to do with you. With that poor little cat that got thrown out of the car.
oh my gosh. Yeah.
Over
Benny.
40,000 people read that.
Really?
Yes.
Well, thank you for sharing that with me, Benny, my
Yeah.
beautiful Benny, who passed away a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But
I
led
know.
me to beautiful Sunshine, my blind kitty that looks just like Benny.
Yeah.
So it's just God bless them all. They're
Yeah.
not here forever, but they do so impact our lives. Before we jump in, we're talking so much about some other things. We'll talk about Pick a Pooch, but so Kirby passed away.
A year ago, January.
Okay. And then you have a new little Bailey in your life, which is the little guy behind you. So yeah.
She's right down here. You want to see her real quick?
Well, sure. Let's see her.
Come here, Bailey. Come here, Bailey.
Oh, hi,
There
Bailey.
she is. Hi.
Hi, sweetie.
Hi.
Yeah, she's such a cutie. And I know Kirby passing it's just so heartbreaking and difficult. But then this beautiful little girl
Yeah.
came into your life. So
My first girlfriend.
yeah.
With
Well,
four legs.
Yep, let's talk about Pick a Pooch, which again, coming up. So where is it at this year?
Baxter Arena.
Okay. And just tell us what can we expect when we all come out?
Well, you'll see, 100 and some vendors there, of all types of people. I tell people it's almost like a home show. It's about 50% anything for the animals. And then there's other people that just want to be there, help us. And also, probably get some leads and stuff for their companies.
Yep.
So yeah, some people say, well, why would I want to come to a dog show? It's much more than that. And we call it a pet expo. It's the biggest pet expo between Chicago and Las Vegas.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Well, and I've been to it, many times, and I know you had to do some fancy schmancy work a couple years ago with the pandemic, because I think you did it all online. But this year, we
were good last year.
Yeah.
Just in 21, we couldn't have it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. In 20, we couldn't have it.
Yeah. But like you said, it's not a dog show. I mean, you come out, there's a lot of vendors that are really, that have unique products for pets,
Right.
From all different, varieties of industries. And it's just a fun way to spend the day. And you get to meet, I know you don't actually adopt pets out at that, which is smart. And you've explained, we want, you want the right pet going with the right person, but
Right.
but will there be animals out there for people just to meet?
Yeah, oh yeah, they'll have live adoptables there, but hardly ever, unless they've been pre-approved,
Sure.
nobody's gonna walk out with a dog that day.
Yeah.
But once in a while, and for right now, I was talking to Pam out at the Humane Society. They're down this year for cats. They don't have a lot of cats at the Humane Society right now. And usually they do at this time of day or time of year,
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, there's that. And I do always want to let people know, most people that come with their own pets,
Right.
on a leash.
Right.
And so they're walking around and they're showing off their dogs and, just having fun for the day. And one other thing, if I can,
Mhm.
without our great sponsors, we could never do this. It
Yeah.
costs a lot of money to rent the arena for two days. And, with Beardmore Subaru, Urgent Pet Care, they've helped us a lot. Canes, Chicken, Dog Watch, Bonafide Academy, Pets Earth, Van Deeb, our friend,
Yep.
Peaceful Roads, Domestipups, Green Spot, Fetch Emporium, Lone Tree Vet, and Long Dog Fat Cat. I mean, without those people, we couldn't have this thing.
Yeah.
So I just had to give them a shout out, if that's okay.
Absolutely. Well, this conversation has gone by pretty quickly. I'm going to actually show a quick pet as we sign off. This happens to be Raj, and I'm going to make myself disappear for a moment. So there's Raj.
Yeah. Wow.
Raj is one of my three. But again, Pick a Pooch coming up at the end of July 30th, 31st, 10 to 4, Baxter Arena. It's a great event. And pet or no pet, come on out and just experience just the celebration of everything that all these vendors and you yourself, Lee, have created. So thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you so much. We love you. You help us every year. Appreciate
Absolutely.
you so much.
Absolutely. Well,
Hope
my
to see you
friends,
soon.
yep, I'll see you soon.